Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Yes, brand new videos every single day. Very big thank you to everyone who has supported the channel for almost a decade. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. You're probably gonna see a pattern. A pattern's a very good word. Probably going to see a pattern in this video. We have been, dare I say, blessed with a non-stop, constant flow of news about the amount of Bitcoin on crypto exchanges out there in the world is just rapidly disappearing. If you missed one of the more recent videos, we found out that apparently 1/3, it's over 6 million Bitcoin, that is of all the Bitcoin that could ever be, not the 6 million that's lost and gone forever. No, another 6 million Bitcoin in the last couple of years, there's no S at the end of that, are holding and owning 33% of all Bitcoin that could ever be. And that's just in the hands of, I believe it was 217 entities, while we have 8 billion people. I almost said 8 billion people on the street. Listen, you know, the news is what it is. So on top of that, we, me, you, I, us, keep getting news every 24 hours about a brand new company, a brand new institution, a returning company, a returning institution, a government, a hedge fund, you name it. We keep getting news about it. And this time is no different. I told you would see a pattern. It's because there are going to be many patterns in this video. Can any of you, for the sake of life, imagine what this news story is going to be? I bet you can't. I bet you won't. A firm founded by long-term Bitcoin advocate, his name is Anthony Pompliano, is making a massive Bitcoin purchase. What? Every day? How can this keep happening? But wait, that doesn't make any sense. How do all the rich people own all the Bitcoin if they're buying it every day? It's such a conundrum. I mean, can you imagine what would happen by December if this takes place every 24 hours? It's almost like there's going to be no Bitcoin left. Oh, well, I hope 100 million people who are into Bitcoin are actually paying attention and not simply buying meme coins and a bunch of other nonsense, because that would be a shame. Anthony Pompliano is making a massive Bitcoin purchase one day after announcing a $1 billion merger. Oh my gosh, that's so surprising. According to a new press release, it's called ProCap Financial, renamed ProCap BTC. Oh, I see what they did there. After it merged with Columbus Circle Capital One, has acquired $387 million in Bitcoin to actively manage a new digital asset treasury. But why? It's almost like all the rich people want something and they're buying all of it at the exact same time. I mean, the dollar's doing just fine. The dollar's value comparative to everything else around it isn't going down. We haven't gotten any new weird bills recently. I mean, inflation is steady at 0%. So what could be... I don't know. I'm just going to sit here confused. The firm aims to raise as much as $1 billion to deploy the funds into various crypto-related revenue strategies that include lending, derivatives, and structured finance. According to the announcement, the Bitcoin purchase is part of an ongoing program that aims to provide investors with immediate exposure to the flagship crypto asset. I assume this is a quote. There's no quotes around it, but it's italicized. So here we go. It says the goal is to look and feel like a traditional financial institution. This resonates very differently with capital allocators. Here we have it, my friends. Yes, Anthony Pompliano, who has been a figurehead, in the space for a number of years. He was popularer in like 2019, 2020, 2021. He was the guy who was like always on CNBC talking about money, talking about crypto, where prices are going to go. And then at some point, Pompliano, and that guy Scaramucci, they were famous around this. That's how I remember it, because I remember being like Pompliano, and then I saw Scaramucci, and I was like, I don't know what these names are. So yeah, they were popular around the same time, and then both, I guess, were raising hundreds of millions of dollars to buy Bitcoin. We're hearing about a lot of mergers as of late as well. If you missed those, we haven't had a lot. I mean, it's been 2, 3, maybe somewhere around there. A lot of companies are getting into, basically they need like we can deal with securities paperwork. So you typically do this by merging with another company, forming a new company, and then bada bing, bada boom, you have the paperwork. So long gone are the days of hearing about, one Bitcoin was purchased, or $500,000. No, all the numbers are quite ridiculous now. So people were acting like this news is going to like save humanity. I'm not joking. This was one of the most popular news stories that we've gotten in a while. I was a little shocked. It's not that it's not awesome, spectacular, or fantabulous. It's just another company buying up all the Bitcoin. For those of you who didn't see, I believe the number is, it's 3,724 Bitcoin. So that's another 3,724 millionaires and billionaires who will never be able to own an entire coin. That's also, if add a couple decimal places, that's several million people who will never be able to own any fractions of Satoshis, because many of these companies, if you didn't see some of the other videos as well, 2 companies have now announced that they are buying a lot of Bitcoin. Surprise, right? And B, that they're going to be staking that Bitcoin. Yeah, so that's going to be a big thing going forward as a very easy way to make passive income from all this Bitcoin that's being bought up by the rich people. Does this news scare you? Does it make you think things? This is a real question. When I see any company announcing something like this, it sets off like a red flag for me, because I'm like, they're going to control everything. They're going to have all the crypto and none will be left. They already control the mining. If they don't control certain other mining companies, when those coins get sold to keep the lights on, these companies are also buying them up. There is no new Bitcoin actually hitting exchanges, as we've been going over for a number of years now. So cool. Yeah. Maybe I'm not the only one who this is like, wait, if they own everything, then they have everything. But I think many other people are just kind of blasé about it, just waiting for prices to go up because they have no long-term plan in mind. A lot of people, you'd be surprised. Ask your friends. Here's a good one before we move on. If you have other friends who invest who want to make money, who want to be rich, goals and aspirations of being worth $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 million. Ask them what their long-term plan is. You're going to be terrified when you realize you've been hanging out with people who have no idea what they're doing, who aren't really putting money away for the long term. They're simply trying to make a lot of money now. They're going to buy some nonsense and then in the future have no assets at all. I'm telling you, ask your friends. I've questioned a lot of my friends, and luckily, two of my closest friends, I think I've drilled it into their heads 80,000 times so they have nothing but long-term investments. That's the ProCap BTC merged by Anthony Pompliano, who's trying to raise $1 billion to make more Bitcoin purchases. And yeah, let's move on. I feel like with the way that the world is, I mean, you just kind of can do anything you want now. You can announce anything you want. You can buy whatever you want. I feel like there are just no rules because any kind of logic is not even out the window. It's been floating in space for so long. It's like relatively near Jupiter at this point. So the trend has been that we are constantly hearing about companies buying Bitcoin. Surprise, right? I know, really weird. The other secondary one has been that there are apparently are 8 companies who are creating XRP treasuries. And then we have, I believe, 1 or 2 companies who are announcing that they're going to be collecting Ether as a treasury. And then we had one for Solana. We had one company announce Dogecoin, which is also still just like, what are you... Remember? Oh, gosh. Do you remember this was 2018 when Justin Sun, the guy who created Tron, purchased a BitTorrent for $100 million? And I remember being like, I feel like there's at least 1,000 other things you can do with $100 million. And then the coin, of course, went absolutely nowhere. I feel like a lot of times, I think when you get so rich, if you don't have like proper financial understanding or planning, or a fund manager of funds of some sort, you kind of just throw your money to willy-nilly, like anywhere that you think it might stick to the wall like spaghetti, because this is what it feels like a lot of things happen within the space. Imagine if Justin Sun had purchased $100 million worth of Bitcoin in 2018. Yeah, that one hurts, right? It's this really weird. So anyway, another company has joined the ring or the fray or is announcing something. Sure, why not? Binance Coin was born as a Binance loyalty token. Yeah, they announced that this coin was being made, and if you traded with it or used it as something, your fees would be lower, and there was all these benefits to using it. Apparently now, it's being pitched as a corporate reserve asset. Thanks to a $100 million play by former Coral Capital executives, their soon-to-be renamed NASDAQ firm, Jeez Louise. Their company's called Build and Build Corporation. That sounds like something from like the Teletubbies, or like, what's that thing? The Bill, the guy with no hair. Will Bill. What's the name of that show? Bob the Builder. Nailed it. Bob nailed it. I was going through the song in my head. Build and Build corporations. Do people? I kind of want to make a company where I just make names of companies that don't sound terrible and I sell them. I don't know. It says they could legitimize Binance coins in ways Binance never could, or expose its deepest flaws. If Binance didn't already legitimize their own coin, I don't know how Build and Build is planning on doing that. If you weren't here back in, I want to say 2019, that sounds about right. Binance Coin was hyped up quite heavily. So first of all, the coin is huge. Let me not, confuse any of you for any second. This coin is absolutely massive because it's created by the largest cryptocurrency exchange that we have on the planet. A lot of companies years ago were writing articles that Binance Coin and Binance in turn could be like the Amazon, like actually, of the cryptocurrency space, expecting great things. The entire thing, I broke the zipper. That is, it's like broken. Oh my gosh. I had a zipper on like my shorts pocket. Oh wow. No, it completely fell off. That's terrible. A lot of the articles were written, wow, that's so sad. A lot of articles were written years ago. Basically, because Binance Coin's thing is that they created 200 million coins. And every single time, I think every quarter that passes, similar to XRP and similar to Shiba Inu and yada yada, there's like a coin burn that takes place. The coin burns are egregiously massive. It's like $800 million, $1.1 billion. Like, it's huge amounts of Binance Coin. The idea basically is to get to only a supply of 100 million Binance. Can you stake Binance coins? I feel like that is a thing or should be a thing. I feel like it's definitely not though. And back then when this was all happening, especially during like a bull run, a lot of people were like, this is it. This is going to be the coin of the future. Everyone needs to, jump on board. It lost favor, but not really. So the public doesn't talk about it as much anymore as they do Bitcoin, XRP, Cardano, blah, 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 blah. But it's still very popular. Buying $100 million worth of Binance coin and not Bitcoin still feels like hyper gimmicky. On the 23rd of June, Bloomberg reported that former Coral Capital Holdings executives Patrick Horseman and Joshua Kruger and Jonathan Posh are apparently in advanced talks to raise $100 million through a NASDAQ-listed shell company. Oh, red flag. That they control. Oh, boy. The capital would be used to acquire Binance tokens in mass, positioning the token as a treasury reserve asset of the renamed firm. Investor materials renewed in the report described the strategy as a first-of-its-kind bid to turn a publicly traded company into a long-term BNB holding vehicle, a move directly inspired by Strategy's Bitcoin playbook. But once again, it's not my money. But also, secondly, you can do so $100 million US. Do you understand the literal money that you would constantly have flowing in your direction if you put that into any other investment vehicle that could also then be used to buy action? Okay, well, yes. So, like I said, I feel like it's a free for all. Everyone's doing what they want to do, what they think they're gonna do. It's not that Binance Coin won't make it, but what has all the news been about? Like, imagine you have all these different artists, like really big, like Picasso, Warhol, Banksy, blah, blah, all these different artists. And then there's some artists named like Matcha Man. He's famous, but people don't, his stuff doesn't sell as well as Picasso or Banksy or Warhol or Basquiat. And then you hear that a company is going to do everything that they can to raise $100 million to buy his artworks. That it just doesn't add up in the mind, because I've seen this before in this market. And can you imagine spending $100 million on BitTorrent? Like, what are you talking about? I remember when that happened, and this was 2018 when real estate prices were even lower. I was like, if you put 10 million into 10 different apartments, you're getting 60, 70, 80,000 in rent. No, yeah, is that right? Yes, per month. If you put the whole 100 million, you're getting 800, 700,000 per month. You know what you can do for if Tron had an additional, it's so crazy. It just doesn't make any sense. Like nothing in this. I've always felt that when rich people really rich people have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. But sometimes like it's sitting there right in front of you, and they just don't do it. And I don't understand. So cool. I'm going to assume there's not going to be any other company doing this because it's Binance Coin. But we'll see in 5 years, one way or another, they're going to be back in the news and we will probably be covering it. That's the Binance Coin news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, I'm pretty sure you have no idea where this one is going. The blockchain group. The blockchain group first appeared in the news February, March, somewhere around there. I believe they're a French company. I think that's what it was. They announced many moons ago that they were going to get into they're called the blockchain group. They were going to get into the game of starting to buy Bitcoin. They've apparently set their sights on becoming a company with a substantial Bitcoin treasury. To fuel this ambition, they have recently raised 9.7 million euros, which is around $11.2 million. The funding was secured through a combination of an equity offering and a convertible bond offering. This capital infusion provides the necessary resources to begin executing their plan to accumulate Bitcoin as a core treasury asset. Cool. Another company is announcing that they made more money. I think they mentioned before, I think one of their other purchases was around like 7 or 8 million. They've been in the news. It's been like twice a month. It hasn't been anything like frequent, but this isn't their first purchase of Bitcoin. So cool. No, I find it really fun when all the Bitcoin that's made for 8 billion people that Satoshi wanted is just completely flowing into the hands of like the very wealthy. That's always really fun to constantly see rich people getting richer and no one else paying attention. It has, holds a special place in my blockchain. Constantly seeing all of this happening. So yeah, that's the blockchain group news. I told you were going to see a pattern. Did you think I was joking? Because this keeps happening over and over. Many days, there's a situation where the news ends up being quite intense, so we go over other topics and stuff. But no, my friends, this is every single day. Adding only more on the plate of confusion that I have as to how prices daily are skyrocketing. Shout out to the people who like writing shady comments here and also on Twitter, because I was writing something about I don't get it. We're hearing about these companies at least once a day purchasing massive amounts of Bitcoin. $100 million, $128 million, $5.4 billion, $83 million. And logically, one would, if we're talking logic here, and you get to the $1 billion US dollars, causes Bitcoin's price to rise by 3 to 5. Well, my friend, I would assume over the course of any given week, Bitcoin's price should only be going up. And what did someone write? They said, it's interesting to know so much about the crypto space, but know nothing about, was it economics? Or I forgot exactly how they framed it. So shout out to you for just being a very rude human being. But to everyone else out there who's also on my side, because nothing is really making a lot of sense right now, I don't care how much manipulation you tell me. What was the news that we got? This was 3 or 4 months ago. No. It was around like a month and a half ago, because the news was over the course of 6 months. It said since the end of November. Oh gosh, what was it? Since the end of November, I think institutions had purchased around like 1 million Bitcoin. I think that's what it was. And we all sat there perplexed. Because in any other given situation, if there were 21 million stocks of a company and 1 million got bought up in 6 months, do you understand supply and demand? There are so many weird things happening within this market. I understand manipulation. Like, I get it. It's English. However, like what the fudge is actually going on with all of this? So at some point we'll find out. Long term, we'll all look back on this with a large amount of anxiety and stress and tension and go, ha ha ha, of course Bitcoin go over $1 million. But until that point, we just have to sit here and wait. I don't have it here because it was literally redundant. About the amount of, there were 2 other analysts, 2 new ones who said, yeah, Bitcoin's going to 170,000 really soon. That's not to be confused with the other 170,000 from about 4 or 5 days ago. And another one just said he had cute little, lovely colors and numbers and stuff on Twitter. He said by August, and for those of you English, if English is not your first language, by August means any time before August and or the first day of that month. His chart showed a 180,000, and I was like, wow. I would love to see those numbers, and by all sense of the imagination, we should be at $250,000, but I guess companies purchasing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin every single day just has no effect on the market. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you've somehow enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.